Hey, what is poppin' YouTube fam? J-Money speaking. I got two upcoming videos coming. This is the part one. Part one is featuring why, and they're going to be World Chalice videos, by the way. So for those of you in the World Chalice group, take notes and let's pay attention. Let's learn something, right? For starters, we are going to go over and we're going to showcase a combo to further show why, number one, you should be playing Clockwork Knight in your deck, right? Instead of almirage. Clockwork Knight is just an all-around better card. Again, the combo will kind of showcase it. Number two, why you should consider playing the Allure Queen engine in any sort of World Chalice based build. That will also be showcased in the combo. And number three, why even though that Brilliant Fusion is back and it is limited, you can still get to it very consistently. And I will showcase that in this same combo, as well as another way to get to Brilliant Fusion in the next video. And the next video is going to feature more of a fairy based strategy as to why these TCG exclusive cards are actually insanely good. Namely this one. This one right here. This one, I'm not going to even attempt to butcher the name, but card reviewers look over this card and they think it's not very good because you have to tribute 3 fairies. However, 3 fairies is actually easier to accomplish than you may think, and they are attributed from hand or field as well. And I got a certain build that I want to actually start tinkering around with that can easily fulfill that requirement. So, anyway, we're going to go to the laboratory first and go over exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Clockwork Knight, Brilliant Fusion, Allure Queen. Let's go. Alrighty folks, here we are in the laboratory showcasing all of what I just said before with just why the Allure Queen engine is so good, as well as all the other aforementioned things, Brilliant Fusion being consistent, as well as Clockwork Knight being a very good card in a deck like this, because this deck plays, no matter which build you play, you're going to be playing your fair share of continuous spells anyway, whether it be, you know, Fateful Adventure, or Lordly Load, or, you know, whether it be Allure Dance, or even Brilliant Fusion, and things like that. There are so many continuous spells that the deck played, you know, Deception of the Sinful Spoils, if you wanted to go that route, that you will always be able to send something. So also, side note, anything, if you wanted to play Snake Eyes, you probably could. I wouldn't recommend it, but anything that's in the back row through their effects are also continuous spells as well. So anyway, I'm just going to showcase what I'm talking about. So we're going to start with the Allure Dance. Allure Dance adds either a Allure Queen monster or an Allure Palace. We will almost always add Allure Palace to our hand because both of these in combination are just full combo. Activate the field spell. And for those of you who don't know, with Allure Palace, thrice per turn you can send a card from your hand to the grave and take an Allure Queen monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it to your opponent's field. So the first thing we're going to do is specifically summon Allure Queen level 3 to the opponent's field. The reason being is because you actually need the other two for their attributes, their effects, and their stats, as well as also being able to stop Imperm and whatnot from being played from the hand. That's just one less card you have to deal with as well. So now we're going to use the effect again. We're going to send another card and we're going to add Chaos Allure Queen. This time we just want to play around Joel. Assuming you already open Palace. If you open Palace, this wants to be the first thing you actually search. So yeah, and now the third go around, we're going to send another card from my hand to the grave to add Allure Queen level 5 specifically. Now with Chaos Allure Queen, we're going to send a light or dark from our hand to the grave to summon her out to the field, like so. Now we're going to activate her other effects where you can target any light or dark in your graveyard and equip it. Then, or no, any monster from either graveyard and equip it. Then if it was a light or dark, you can special summon an Allure Queen from your graveyard or your deck. So we were going to summon Allure Queen level 7 straight from our deck. Now the other effect of Chaos Allure Queen is anything that she equipped, she changes her name to the monster that you equipped. So since Allure Queen level 7 was technically summoned by Allure Queen level 5, Allure Queen level 7 gets her effect as well, allowing her to target any monster on the opposing field and equip it. Alright, now that we got this nice setup, now Allure Palace, what it does, for those of you who don't know, you contribute it allows all the Allure Queens that are equipped with something by their own effect to gain an additional effect where you contribute themselves to summon any spellcaster from your deck with 1500 or less attack, which is very, very strong. So the first thing we're going to do is summon out our Crowned by the World Chalice. Now we're going to use our Chaos Allure Queen to do the exact same thing and summon out Synchro Fusionist. This is how we can consistently access our Brilliant Fusion. When it's sent from field to grave as Synchro material, you can add a Polarization or a Fusion spell from your deck to your hand. So, doing that we shall. Now we can use the other broken effect of Allure Dance, allowing us to send any spell or trap on our field to the graveyard to summon any number of Allure Queens from our graveyard as possible. So, like so, we're going to summon out all the other ones. There we go. Now, we are going to take the Ib and the level 3 Allure Queen and go into our Ib Synchro. Ib Synchro activates, letting us add a World Legacy card from our deck to our hand. We're going to go and add Succession. And next we will Synchro the Ib and the Synchro Fusionist into a Shooting Riser Dragon. Alright, so we got a lot going on here. First things first, we want to chain block Ib and we want to chain block Synchro Fusionist. So we'll go Fusionist 1, Ib 2, and Shooting Riser Chain Link 3. So the Shooting Riser, we will send you can send Spell Cancel if you want to, honestly. There's other ways that you can play stuff out. You don't even have to play Shooting Riser. You can play Ancient Fairy Dragon in your deck if you want to. And if you have other spells and traps you can send, you can keep the field spell, pop it, you can add Waterfront, right? Get your Gamma Seal to your hand. There's all sorts of things you can do with your Synchro 7 option, right? You can make a Dawn Draxer if you want to, just for a spell trap negate, all that. So you don't have to play Shooting Riser. So we're going to resolve the Ib Synchro, and we're going to summon out the Lee. And then we're going to resolve the Synchro Fusionist and add the Brilliant Fusion to our hand. Right. Lee's effect activates, adding a World Chalice monster from our deck to our hand. We'll add the World Legacy. And from here we will go ahead and tribute that Lee to normal summon our World Legacy. Now we will go into that Clockwork Knight that I mentioned earlier. Since it is a machine with 1,000 or less attack, you can make it. So, not only can this essentially search you Clockwork Knight, which gives you access to Regulus, which is another negate, but it allows you to also chain block your World Legacy from things like Ash and whatnot. That is the other reason that Clockwork Knight is so good, other than almirage, because if you almirage and they essentially know how this deck works, and they can just ask a World Legacy and your turn almost ends right there, which is a little unfortunate, but hey. Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, send a continuous spell to your graveyard, add Clockwork Knight to your hand. Right here. And we're going to summon 2 World Chalices from the deck. We'll summon Beckon in case you just randomly had Primite Roar in your hand because it becomes an interruption in the graveyard. And we'll summon Will Chalice Guard Dragon. So, now that we got those taken care of, we can do two things. First of all, that Allure Queen being in the what's it called is a bit annoying. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take these and we're going to make a Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep in tandem with Brilliant Fusion was always really good. Now we get to experience those effects once again. So now from here we're going to link these two off into, we'll make a Live the World Keep Blade Master. Now we'll activate the Guard Dragon. So if you like, I should have structured my zoning a little bit better, and I wouldn't have to do this stuff out of order, but we can still do this anyway. So Guard Dragon can summon the Ib out, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to link 3 since she's a spellcaster. We're going to go into the Golden Allure Queen. She specifically takes 3 spellcasters to make. Now with Golden Allure Queen, on link summon she can summon an Allure Queen from deck or graveyard, and we're going to summon back out that Chaos Allure Queen. Now what we are going to do here is activate our Brilliant Fusion, and we can do one of two things. We can either send Sylvie of the White Forest. Actually, no, we don't even need to send Sylvie. We can either send Elzette as a Mina of the White Forest, or we can send Lord Christia because we can get access to it later. But what I am going to do instead of sending Christia, like let's say you guys don't want to play the brick, right? If you don't want to play something you just don't want to open, then we could just send Elzette instead. And we can drop Seraphonite to the field, to the zone, so Cross Sheep can trigger and actually summon the Elzette. Now, we're going to use the Elzette and we're going to fuse with our Light Spellcaster into our Azamina Rusilago. Rusilago effect activates, and that is going to allow us to add Wanted to our hand. Now, from here we are going to take the Rusilago and the Cross Sheep, and we are going to make a Closed Moon. We do not play Fiendsmith in this deck, but we do need a Fiend monster to be able to then make an Abow. And a Bow link 4. Now we've cleared up a little bit more space. And so adding Clockwork Knight is never the biggest deal in the world because you can always send it to your graveyard with either a Bow, you can send it with Black Witch and such, and friends and things like that. So there's oodles and oodles of ways to get the Abow or the Clockwork Knight to the graveyard. So we will do just that with the Abow, and we're gonna summon a lighter dark monster from our graveyard, and we will just choose to summon out. We'll summon all the Will Chalices are. They are all, what's it called? They are non-lights and darks, which is a little unfortunate, but what we are going to then choose to do now is just summon the Chaos Allure Queen back. And what we are going to do here is we are going to resolve or activate the Clockwork Knight, sending another card from our hand to the graveyard to add Therion King Regulus from our deck to our hand. Now, Brilliant Fusion is also a useless card, so we can just send that with Black Witch, but first we need to activate the Wanted to get access to said Black Witch. There we go. Now, we can send the Brilliant Fusion to summon Black Witch. Black Witch effect activates, allowing you to get to Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Activating Deception of the Sinful Spoils. We can do a couple things. We don't have to summon Regulus from our hand. we can just reborn it later if we want to. So, yeah, that is precisely what we're going to do. We're going to tribute the Regulus, and we're going to add our Hallowed. Now we're going to activate the Hallowed and send the Deception to the graveyard to summon our Azamina Sylvia. Right. Now, from here, we are going to link off the Chaos Allure Queen and the Black Witch into an IP Masquerena. Now, to round things off, we're going to use Lib's Effect, and we're going to set our World Legacy Secret, because remember, we did send Spell Canceller earlier on the combo. And we're going to activate Succession for our Regulus. Now, don't worry, Golden Allure Queen has a on-field effect as well. For those of you who don't know, Golden Allure Queen, for starters, she allows all of the Allure Queens on the field to become quick effects, which you will actually see in just a second. But she has another effect where if the opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can just destroy a card on the field. Non-target destruction, by the way. So it's essentially a detonator. But you can only do it once, you know, unlike Detonator. But, alright, so Regulus is now summoned. Now, we do need some cards in hand because a Bow will end up coming back. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use Hallowed Azamina and put the Rusilago back in the extra deck to add to hand. You can also draw a card with Wanted if you want to, but you don't really want to do that. In case the Spellcaster gets outed, in case you use this to negate, you can just reset it. And now you have Hallowed. And even if you discard the Hallowed with a Bow, you can just put the Sylvia back from your graveyard to your hand to add this back to then, you know, summon the Sylvia right back out. So I would just save the Wanted for extra cards later for follow-up when you need them. So end phase is going to happen, and a Bow comes back. Alright, so what do we have here? For starters, we can save the World Legacy Secrets when we get these two cards off the field. So what's going to end up happening is your opponent may try to press you, try to throw some spells your way. The first thing you want to do, first of all, reset the Deception, by the way. Never forget that. You always want to use the Sylvia first, because you can always just recycle it, versus Regulus, that's not really that possible because it's an Earth monster. So Sylvia, you contribute to negate. Now you've cleared a space on your board. You can do a couple things. So now with a Bow, you can discard to banish yourself again to special summon a light or dark from your graveyard. So with this one, we can summon Chaos Allure Queen. Now remember what I said earlier about her effect? You can use it in this context where on your opponent's turn they're playing the game. Remember, Golden Allure Queen makes your Allure Queens quick effects. So Chaos Allure Queen, as a quick effect, can target Allure Queen level 5 in your graveyard and equip it to her and summon out Allure Queen level 7. Now remember, since level 7 was technically summoned by level 5 because her name changes to level 5 before she summons the monster, now she gets to use her effect as a quick effect, allowing you to snatch any monster your opponent controls as another equip card, you know, as a quick effect because of Golden Allure Queen. Golden Allure Queen herself also gets a pop, so there's that. IP Masquerena can now activate, and you can do a couple of things, right? You can either summon SP, right? You can SP, banish another card. Lib can non-target shuffle a card on the field back into the deck. Or what you can do is you can link off an additional monster and one of their other monsters to make the Link 5. Because the Link 5 not only gives you an extra negate from the graveyard, and she's unaffected by anything that doesn't target, and she also slurps a card from the field, but you also are allowed to clear more space on your board, which is key. in a lot of these like interruption based things. We also play the Link 5 because of Moon in the Closed Heaven. We don't have enough space for Fiendsmith, but we still needed a Fiend to be able to access a bow, and we had extra space. So if you're going second, you can use Moon in the Closed Heaven and slurp up 2 of your opponent's monsters and 1 of yours to make the Link 5. So yeah, I could play Singularity, I could play the Allied Talker Ad Ignister stuff, but this was a little easier on extra deck space. So we made the Link 5. We can now activate World Legacy Secret if we want to, and also summon Spellcancellor, further, you know, suppressing our opponent's spell cards, as well as you still have the Regulus negate as well. So this board state is incredibly strong. Now, granted, you didn't have to summon the Chaos Lore Queen right away. You could have summoned Spellcancellor early after attributing for the negate with the Sylvia if you wanted to, and instead you would just have to wait. You just have to wait for you to use IP instead. So then you can summon the Golden Allure Queen out with the Abow, or just wait for the Regulus negate on like monster effects and stuff. So there's plenty of options here. This kind of showed, you know, what I was talking about. Clockwork Knight with World Legacy World Chalice, right? This essentially turns itself into not only extra extenders for your actual combo, but it also just enables you to get another negate to your hand, because Clockwork Knight gets you Regulus. So, yeah, that is it for this video, guys. I will go and hurry up and do the next video in terms of like those TCG exclusives and why I think they are incredibly strong for a World Chalice variant that you may want to think about playing. So with that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.